Hi, everyone, and welcome. Today, I'm absolutely thrilled to share an incredible story of transformation, or should I say, it's a story that I'm just in awe of, and a transformation that honestly, it just brings tears to my eyes every single time I think about it. 5 years ago, a man named Jose posted a simple question in our community. All he asked was, "What does everyone do when your feet get cold?" Little did we know that this one question would mark the beginning of an extraordinary journey, a journey that would lead ultimately to Jose losing 300 pounds and quite literally saving not only his legs, but also his life. When I first connected with Jose, his situation was dire. 600 pounds. Oh, I'm going to get choked up here.
Me too.
At six, yeah, I know, right? I would say
Yeah.
at 600, we've been through a lot. At
Yeah.
600 pounds, he was suffering. I mean, suffering in a really big way from
Well,
severe
so
peripheral vascular disease. It
if
was
I may,
affecting both his arteries and his veins. Yeah.
I've got,
You,
I've got,
you
I've got
might
to,
you might as well just jump in now because
yeah,
I might
I've
even
got to
just go
jump
into
in
tears more.
because I hate to interrupt the soliloquy, but so the question was what your feet get like
Cold,
t
cold, cold,
it started, my feet would get cold and then they would get
right?
hot.
Temperature cold. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, they would feel cold, but they weren't really cold to touch. And then they would get hot, and then after I could notice a pattern. After a week, they would get hot, then I would start feeling numb, but um that's how it all started. That's how this me just wanting to know more, and everything now is done through Facebook groups and information is given. So I just somehow ended up in this group, and um, Kim was very welcoming, and she answered every question I had, and then that's how everything started.
Yeah, he was saying that his legs were not only cold, they were swollen.
Yeah,
Jose, your toenails were even falling off. You had weeping wounds on
yeah,
your calves at one point that wouldn't heal.
yeah. I noticed that my toenails wouldn't grow, and they were like, honestly, I was so big, I couldn't take care of my feet. My feet were so dry. Um, my toenails wouldn't grow. I wouldn't have to clip my toenails.
What
Um,
about the hair on your legs?
it was completely gone. Like it was as smooth. My legs were so swollen that my skin literally felt really smooth. But now I have some actual hair on my legs.
Yeah.
I recently had a wound that took like 3 or 4 months to heal, but where the wound was, hair is now growing out, you know?
Isn't that incredible? I mean, he was diagnosed with peripheral vascular disease, so both
Yeah,
the arteries and the legs. And
yeah,
But
Dr. John, I was
I,
so desperate to help him. I actually reached out to two different vascular specialists in Southern California, and both doctors delivered the same heartbreaking message that they just could not do anything surgically until Jose lost hundreds of pounds. So
yep,
it was
yep.
like, what were we going to do as a community when medical doors
I
just seem closed?
I
Well, I
actually
think
went to, I'm sorry, I actually went to a vein specialist, and he told me the same thing. He told me, look, man, I could work on you right now, but the weight limit for my outpatient clinic bed is 350 pounds. So you have to lose. My heaviest was 664 recorded. I know I was closer to 700. I absolutely know it. But he told me you have to lose weight, and I would like to go back to his clinic just to tell him I'm ready, doc. So I mean, I'm pretty sure that he thought like this guy's never gonna lose weight. He's probably gonna die because I would
well,
probably think the same thing.
there's I hope they weren't closing the door on you. I say the same thing to patients. There's no, I mean, when someone is as big as you were, and
Yeah,
the key word there is were, there's
yeah,
no point in doing any venous ablation or, I mean, there would be no point to doing anything from an arterial standpoint either,
yeah,
because you probably weren't active enough to elicit symptoms of anything,
yeah,
and any wounds you would have would be venous. So, I mean,
yeah.
bottom line is, man, uh, obviously we're going to get into it, but the question that I have at some point once Kim's done with the intro is what flipped in your mind that said, I got to change something here? And I tell this to patients too. I'm like, if you don't change what you're doing, you're going to be talking to St. Peter sooner than you want to. That is a fact.
Yeah, because
Um,
we did a lot, right, Jose? I mean, we connected you to our amazing coach, Susan
yeah.
Davis from SusanPerformance.com. Fellow
You,
pad warriors like Douglas Salisbury stepped up to offer support and motivation. And I think at one point we set few goals, maybe eat
yeah.
healthier, drink more water, move a little more each day. But the thing is that you can set these goals, you can talk about it, but it's something else to do something about it, right?
I'm gonna be honest with you. You offered me a lot of resources. You offered to send me a box with healthy snacks, but I was so close-minded that I didn't want to give out my address, and so I would cut everything and believe strangers can't help me, right? Um, and that's how I was. I was close-minded. I wasn't open. That I wasn't open-minded enough to realize that people really that I never met in my life, complete strangers, actually cared enough to help me, right? So that's why those resources never went nowhere. I kind of self-sabotaged, if I could explain it that way. Um, and to answer the other question is what finally snapped is that in my mind, I thought I'm not hurting anybody else but myself. And I thought that me hugging and kissing my 8 and 10-year-old was enough. And it really is really not enough. An 8-year-old and a 10-year-old really deserve a father that's gonna be there, take them to school, pick them up from school, take them to sporting events. And I finally realized that I'm really hurting them by not being there for them. And my wife has a big part in it. She held me down for 5 years. She paid the rent, paid the bills. I was working, but I injured myself, and that's when I started blowing back up again. And one day I woke up and my sugars were 225, and 225 another day, and then the next week it was like 240. And she told me, you know what? We would have big arguments. You need to do something. You're gonna die. You're gonna leave me here with these kids. What am I gonna do? And then something finally snapped in my head. And one day I prayed to God. I don't know if people believe in it, but I believe in God. And I said, I need your help. And a month later, the help came. That's in another part of my story, but another complete stranger came into my life, and he told me, I'm going to help you. I just need you to give me your commitment. But by that point, I knew I wanted to change. I knew I had to do something. I was ready. I just didn't know how to. He gave me the keys, and 330 pounds later.
That was the decision. And we're going to hear exactly who this stranger was, what was said, and how you were able to do it. So stay with us. You don't want to miss this amazing story of transformation. Coming up next, right here on the Heart of Innovation on KDOW. Don't go away.
How many procedures are you willing to go through? Is it worth going through that many, or would you rather just
That's funny. Was it worth it? Oh yeah, I have my leg, man.
Amputation should absolutely, positively, 100% never be a first-line treatment.
What an incredible operation, what an incredible lab you have here. Without a doubt, we're underdiagnosing peripheral arterial disease. It has not gotten the attention that it should because it is a killing disease, it is a disabling disease, and most importantly, it's a disease that we now have great treatments for. Okay, let's go to the next one.
They were going to amputate it, and I needed to consult with my family. Did I want it off here or here? You're just shocked. It's scary. I don't even know how to explain it. You're 42 years old.
We're waiting till people are at the end of the spectrum and almost beyond hope. There is good care available here. Closed minds are what we have to get rid of.
Dr. Dr. John Phillips' spectacular vascular moment of inspiration.
So I have to share a quote from Marcus Aurelius, Roman Empire and Stoic philosopher, about discipline, because clearly Jose has some discipline to lose the 300 plus pounds. And so I kind of like this about using your mind, because Jose, you were talking about your mind as well, because something flipped in it. But Marcus Aurelius is quoted as saying, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find your strength." And I think that the Stoic philosophy is all about harnessing what's within, blocking things, control what you can control. And you, Jose, decided to control your health and your life, and you made some changes that 5 years later have really reaped benefits and bore fruit that has made you healthier. You're hugging your kids who are now older, right? And I think you also realized that this is more than just you. You have a family and you have to support people. And, that's I think, a significant hurdle that you overcame. And kudos, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
So
Yes, I'm curious about
I was going to say, you left
the
us a
person.
teaser.
Who was
Clearly
that
you've been
catalyst that
listening to
approached
Kim.
you?
So I'm gonna give you how it happened. One day I started following this person which was doing meal preps that looked pretty appealing. They looked pretty flavorful. I started following them. Like I told you, I said a prayer one day, and then a month later, he put on his Instagram story, "Ask me anything you want about weight loss. I have a couple hours to spare. I'll answer any question you have." And this is all documented on my Instagram. He released a video and he did a podcast as well, and I need to lose weight. I'm currently 650 pounds. I can only walk about 2 minutes at a time, and I don't want to die. So he answers back, "Give me your number. I'm going to call you at 7 p.m. Eastern time." And he lives in New York. I never met this person in my life. April 14, 2023, he sent me that message. 7 o'clock, he called me. By April 14th, by April 15th, I started my journey. His name is DrJohnnyhadac. He's not even 30 years old, and he just started his residency in Florida. He's becoming a medical doctor, and losing 330 pounds hasn't been hard when you want it. He gave me the keys, which is not hard at all. It's basically low carb, low fat, and low calorie. No snacking, no junk food. And this is the only thing I've used. It's a book, and I'm not trying to sell anybody anything. I'm not trying to.
No, I want to know about that book. I've never seen that
this-
book before.
It's called Total Weight Loss Cookbook 2.0. This book has recipes, shop lists, shopping lists, hydration type. It has everything. And this is the only thing I've used. I eat 3 times a day, and I have a protein shake, and I've steadily lost about 12 pounds a month for the last 2 years. The scale hasn't gone up. I haven't hit a plateau, but I do this faithfully. I don't have cheat meals. I don't have a cheat snack. I haven't touched a pizza, a burger, cookies, ice cream, nothing for over 26 months.
So Jose, can I ask, did you always struggle with your weight
Always.
growing up?
Always, yes. I was a heavy kid, teen. I would like to add that I've also been a drug addict, so that addict mentality goes through everything.
Addiction, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the addiction mentality goes through everything. So, addicted to food. If I pick up a book I like to read, I'll read it to the end because I just get so, I'm caught up in it. But I do have that addictive mentality that I feel if I taste like a pizza, I'll probably eat the whole thing. So I just won't do it, and it's like if it's not broke, why even try to fix it? It's been working for me for so long, and I'm just gonna stick to it. I have a goal of 75 more pounds, and I'll hit my goal weight, and then I'll switch a little bit to just have maintenance calories and just maintain my weight at a certain weight.
So, Dr. John, I just looked up this Johnny Haddock. He literally, I think, just in the past few weeks, got his medical degree.
Yeah.
Jose, I don't know anything about Johnny Haddock. What gave him the credibility to write?
How did you meet? Yeah, how did you meet
this
him?
book?
I just hit him up on Instagram. Like I told you exactly the way I told you. I followed him. His recipes look good to me. And he put it on the story, ask me anything you want. That's what I put. He answered, and he's been working with me ever since.
I'm literally looking at his LinkedIn profile right now, Dr. John. After years of hard work, long nights, and a mission rooted in the surface, I'm proud to share I've graduated medical school. Here's a guy that wasn't even a doctor. He's written a book that changed this wonderful man's life.
And it's all eating clean. Everything I eat, I cook. So, I know what's going into my body, and he helped me out, and I have to give him the credit. He's the one that, I'd like to add 10, 11 years ago, I had gastric bypass, and I lost 300 pounds, and I gained it all back. And this time I'm doing it naturally.
Well, that's another cliffhanger that we need to get to. So stay with us. We're going to break right here on KDOW.
Your type of condition is called critical limb ischemia. It's the most advanced form of PAD or peripheral arterial disease.
Every 4 minutes, there is an amputation in this country due to PAD and diabetes. We also know that 85% of these amputations are preventable with early intervention.
It's a flip of the coin. Patient prognosis is tied to whether or not they are referred to a true expert in the management of peripheral arterial disease.
Do you know if your physician is an experienced CLI operator?
When you're in the hospital dealing with doctors and stuff, you figure they know what they're talking about.
The skill level varies doctor from doctor and hospital to hospital.
Patients with limb threat are in constant fear. The depression that someone experiences after they lose a limb is equivalent to those of losing their spouse of 40 years.
I was stuck in a wheelchair close to 2 years, and my husband had to quit work.
I didn't know what to do at this point because we had nothing but infections and hospital stays and infections and hospital stays.
And they took one toe, another toe, and then it was another toe, and then half his foot before he was even diagnosed with PAD.
And all I heard was, "What are we doing here? Just cut it off." And I pulled the curtain back like, "Are you kidding me?"
Do you really want to go through all that?
That's crazy. That's insane.
The protocol is to send them to amputation. Always, always, always get multiple opinions.
We do have options. We need to listen more to our patients.
If you're going to chop off their leg anyway, why not just let someone else try?
This is the progression. First comes the wounds, and then comes an amputation. And I wasn't going to accept that.
So that's what it's like to try to save a leg.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We are listening to an amazing story, a motivated, disciplined young man, Jose, who lost 300 plus pounds by just eating right, it sounds like. But you threw a little cliffhanger in there, like you had gastric bypass surgery.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know that to undergo gastric bypass surgery, you have to pass pretty rigorous, physical, psychological testing. Like they want to know that these folks are motivated to lose the weight. So you lost some weight, but gained it all back. Explain that process to us? Because, for our listeners, that your stomach gets cut, it's small. Yes. And I mean, you can't really eat much. So how did you lose the weight, and then how'd you gain it back?
So 2010, I went into Kaiser Permanente, and I qualified for the gastric bypass. It's not really a lot that they make you go through. It's just like one psych appointment, and then you got to do I think it's like a 6-month program, which is just like educational.
That's education.
A lot. Education on eating, and then after that, a couple blood work appointments, and then you're ready. I did that 2011. I believe I had it in towards the Thanksgiving time. They cut your stomach in deep. And And I had it. I lost about 300 pounds. Before my surgery, I was 615. Day of surgery, I was 580. So within like 3 months, 4 months, I lost 20 pounds. They still went through with it. They were saying if you don't lose more, you won't go through with it, but I did it. I had it, but I never changed this.
Yeah.
So the reason why it worked
Interesting.
for me is because you can't eat, right? That's why it works. It works for me. But I was still big in here. You know, even though I was losing all that weight, I was still big here. Like I told you, the addictive mentality, I would still chew food and spit it out, right? Because I just didn't.
But over time, does this?
Yes.
Were you able
It
to eat
stretches out.
more? It's stretching,
Yeah.
so like you just got back to normal, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And another thing is, they will tell you, but I also became hypoglycemic because of the gastric bypass surgery.
Yeah.
I became hypoglycemic. There was a time where I couldn't control my blood sugar. I would have to drink a soda and eat peanut butter by the spoonfuls, and it was a rebound effect and go up, come down, go up, and then another curveball that got thrown in. So I would carry candy everywhere, carry a soda with me. So another thing to deal with, and then my hypoglycemia turned into diabetes. You know, my A1C was above 9, and my high blood pressure was pretty high. I was hitting like 170 over 100 sometimes. I was on amlodipine, 5 milligrams of amlodipine daily for like years.
And that's where you were experiencing a lot of trips to the doctor and to the ER and posting in our group, worried about different things, different symptoms arising, correct? From your legs all the way to your chest.
Yes. And it's all documented. I know it's there. I just went to the ER. The doctors didn't find anything. They did EKG, everything. All documented there. And I'm proud to say that my A1C is 5.1 and I'm no longer high blood pressure. Yeah.
Wow.
So what is
more
your
high blood pressure meds?
That's awesome.
My blood pressure is about 105. 115 over like 75.
Do you exercise regularly?
I do. I lost 280 pounds without going to the gym. It was all nutrition. I started the gym in March, and I go faithfully 4 to 5 times a week. I walk 30 minutes a day, 30 minutes every time I go, with the incline of 6.0 and a speed of 2.5.
And so wait a minute. So you started this in 2023, and then you literally just started this past March exercising?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. It's all been nutrition through the book. Just what I do with this book is what helped me. And like I said, you will have different outcomes.
Sure.
If you're consistent and if you do it the way I do it, you know, I'm 100%. I don't, like I said, I don't snack, I don't cheat, and I have an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old that are like, no, Dad. I like to play around with them.
Well,
but,
so let me ask you this, Jose.
Yeah.
Because I think this is a problem with America. We have too much cheap, processed, poorly nutritional, poor food of poor nutrition at our disposal. And as kids, we are exposed to it, and it's kind of like, oh, Jimmy, it's not a big deal. It's just a hamburger. We don't need to necessarily get into your childhood, but you know, like now you've seen what happened. So, and your kids must be proud of you. Your family must be proud of you.
We are.
You're changing your family tree from a nutritional standpoint by you set this example. Like, kids, we're not eating this garbage, right?
Yeah. You know what I think the problem is also? The promotion of cereal in the morning is great for breakfast when it's really not. It's all carbs. I'd rather get my calories from eggs and a piece of turkey bacon and a couple slices of low-calorie bread opposed to 400, 500 calories from milk and cereal, which is all carbs. You know, I'd rather have a protein-packed breakfast than a carb-full breakfast. I think that's one of the problems, that they'll make you think, raisin bran for breakfast. Oatmeal is good for breakfast, but when you pair it with protein, right? Because if you have a light breakfast like oatmeal, or if you want to add some protein in it, it's fine. But I'd rather have a protein-packed breakfast. But
Do your kids eat what you eat now?
They do want to. They do. I don't restrict them a lot, but I sure do not buy all the junk I used to buy before. All the cookies, all the chocolates, and that was my doing, you know. So I do the shopping mostly. And one thing I noticed about, you know, this journey is that once you start realizing that you don't need all that stuff, it also becomes a lot cheaper, right? Because you buy what you really need opposed to what you don't need. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would eat a party-sized bag of Doritos in about an hour.
Wow.
That's party size, not the regular. I'm talking about the party size. And I don't know how many servings come in there, but just imagine the sodium I was consuming.
And coming up right here on the Heart of Innovation on KDOW, I want to find out just some of the, you know, the peaks and valleys of this entire journey, and maybe his latest trip to the doctor and the shock on that doctor's face when he showed up 300 pounds lighter. So stay with us.
I tell my patients to do ankle exercises, you know, like you're pressing on a gas pedal and relieving it, pressing, relieving it, do that 30 times every hour, because they can do that anywhere at any time. My patients come up to me and say, I have this stationary bike pedal, you know, can I do that? I said, of course you can do that, but you're only going to do that when you have that with you. Otherwise, the rest of the time, you're not using it. So best thing to do is do these exercises. You can do it while you're sitting in the car going to your doctor's appointment. You can do it while you're waiting in the doctor's waiting room or while watching TV. And that really has made a difference in these patients, you know, because they're not able to get up and walk. So, but at least they can do these flexion and extension exercises to improve their circulation in their feet.
Folks, we are back, and we are with Jose. Jose, so we've been talking now about, you know, the your mind, the flip, or the switch flipped. You're losing the weight. I mean, it's 2+ years, 3+ years. You lost 300+ pounds, but I mean, this is a journey, right? It's a marathon, not a sprint. Clearly, there were some ups and downs. I mean, mentally, how did you overcome this addictive personality that you have to say, I'm not going to eat? During break, you said you could or did eat a full party-sized bag of Doritos, which, I mean, Doritos are pretty tasty, but that's a lot of Doritos. How did you fight those demons off? Because clearly you've inspired yourself and others on the Facebook group chats.
You know what? It all boils down to I want this, you know. There was a while about 2 months ago, I struggled for 2 weeks where everything I seen, I wanted to eat it, you know. But my mind was like, I'm victorious. Like I would say, nope, 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 nope. I just stand firm, nope. And then I wake up and I do it again and fight again. And after saying no so many times, it just went away. I'd be lying to you if I told you I crave a lot of stuff. I don't really crave a lot because I've had it all. You know, I've pizza, burgers, and I know also where I am at right now, where my blood sugar is so stable. Before I couldn't go 2-3 hours without having a meal because my hypoglycemia was so out of whack. Now I eat protein-packed meals that my blood sugar is just stable. I'm able to do 14-hour fast. I can do 16-hour fast without a problem now.
And you're not taking a GLP-1 like semaglutide?
Nothing. I haven't, no.
You just,
my doctor wanted to put me on
your diet.
nothing, just normal. Everything I eat, I prepare. 3 meals a day, 14-hour fast from 7 to 9 in the morning, and I work out fasted. That just started about 3 months ago. No GLP, no weight loss medication, no nothing. My doctor wanted to put me on it, but I just said no, and then I just finally started doing it myself.
But it was this coach, this Johnny Haddock, the author of the book. I mean, he was a culinary specialist, culinary medicine specialist, nutritionist, and now a doctor. Was he there with you every step? How often did you meet with him? And what were the keys? You said he gave you the keys. What were those key catalysts to creating a change?
I message him. He has my number. He calls me monthly, checks up on me, lets me know how I'm doing. When I have monthly weigh-ins, I send him a video or a picture. We talk. If I ever need to talk to him, he's there for me. I know he's going to medical school and he's real busy right now. But the key is this. This is my key. Because this has everything I need, you know. I'll do, when I meal prep, one of the biggest things, one thing that has helped me be really successful is meal prepping. Why? Because, say for example, I start work at 7 in the morning, right? Most people, they don't want to meal prep. That's one of the hardest things that I've encountered with people that message me, oh, well, I don't have time to meal prep, or I don't want to meal prep. I don't know how to. Well,
yeah, you don't want to waste. Like, I just heard it today at my gym. Somebody was saying, or they were talking about meal prepping, and it was like, we don't want to waste a Sunday prepping for all the meals of that coming week. But
in all reality, I'm going to tell you what I have now. I could reach in my fridge, but I prep 14 meals, so six or seven lunches and 6 or 7 dinners in about an hour. And that's only because I get 5 chicken breasts, chop it up finely, because I don't like to be with, sometimes I eat my dinner on my break or a 30-minute lunch, and I don't want to be using a knife, but
I want to see your fridge. I want to see your fridge.
I know, me too. We want pictures.
It's kind of dirty. It's kind of dirty, but I have a lot of zero sugar. Look, I'll reach in.
Let me see
this right here. This is protein chili right here. And this is going to last me 5 more days, right? Protein chili. All this is 3 pounds of ground turkey, 2 bell peppers chopped, 1 onion, and 1 can of low sodium black beans. I rinse them out, and 1 can of no salt added diced tomato, right? And then
but it's also portion control, right? You must have changed your portions too, right?
1.5 cups is about 400 calories. And then sometimes I drizzle some cheese, and I'll do like 2 low carb tortillas. So it'll be like 350 to about 500 calories for my dinner. My breakfast is about 450. So it's all under 2,000 calories with my protein shake added. And sometimes I have 2 bananas or a banana. It's about 2,000 calories a day.
That's what it is. Okay.
So you are able to get in some fruits in there.
Yeah. I just do it because, I switch it up. I do rice cakes as well, only because for 1 rice cake is like 50 calories. So I'm able to have my protein shake I have some here. So 120 whey isolate, right? And this is, I'm not a chocolate
Never-ending chocolate.
Yeah, I'm not a chocolate person, but it's amazing, right?
Yum.
So have you basically, sorry to interrupt, but regarding the gastric bypass, is that like no longer, I don't know if functional is the right term, but it doesn't impede your ability to eat anymore? Sometimes it does. I can't eat. So one thing about the gastric bypass is you won't be able to, for a long time, you won't be able to eat like protein heavy stuff. Like, for example, chicken breast, you won't be able to eat it because it's dry and it's so dense, right? You could do some dark meat, but I can't eat big meals like that anymore. What I used to do is carbs. I was like a carbaholic. Cookies, chips, candy, easily, like you chew it and it dissolves, right? I was a really big Seeds Candies person. I would completely devour a half-pound box in like
20 minutes.
And now,
But how did you replace it?
Yeah.
How did you
I
replace
just
that
don't.
sweet craving?
I don't. Until recently, like a week ago, I went to Walmart and my coach, because it's the same thing. This book has protein shake recipes, so I'll get this chocolate, 1.5 scoop with 1.5 cups of almond milk, and then just put in the NutriBullet, add some zero sugar whipped cream, and a couple Lily's white chocolate, no sugar added chips on top, and that's my sweet tooth craving right there.
Did it take a little getting used to? Because of course that's a little bit more when you're doing sugar alternatives, a little bit of an acquired flavor.
Well, one thing is that a lot of people also because a lot of people message me and she's like, how does the food taste? I don't really focus on that. Like, if it's not what a real chocolate shake tastes like, I don't worry about it. I just know it's working for me, so I focus on that. I honestly now I eat for fuel for my body now, just like to keep going. Like I know I need to eat in order to keep my metabolism working, and because I work out, I need a little bit more fuel. My body needs fuel. So I don't crave like stuff like that, like sweets. Like, I'm a really big like donut and all that, but it's just not an option. And I just put it in my head that stuff is not an option anymore.
Such an incredible shift in mindset. I'm curious, coming up next on the Heart of Innovation on KDOW, how long it took for that shift to fully take hold, and also how all of this weight loss has translated into his vascular and cardiovascular health. So stay with us. Don't go away.
When your sugar runs high, it's more than a sign. Diabetes creeping in, it's a dangerous line. Pre-diabetes too, don't think it's too light. It can lead to PATS, so start the fight. Sugar's sweet, but the cost is real. High blood sugar makes your arteries feel clogged. Slow flow, it's a ticking time bomb. Catch it early, stay strong, and keep your legs on. Sugar's not so sweet when your leg is in pain. Not controlling sugar is where peripheral artery disease sets in. Got sugar? Get checked. Don't wait too late. Save your legs, save your life, take control of your fate. Leg pain, cold feet, neuropathy too. These are signs diabetes caught you. High sugar's the link where circulation and pain left untreated. Your leg might end in flame.
We are back, folks. We are rounding third base here, heading for home. Hell of a show. Heck of a show. So sorry, shouldn't say hell. Heck. At any rate, Jose, couple last thoughts here. As a cardiologist, we preach weight loss, exercise, good nutrition, because you were, if I heard you correctly, on the precipice of probably starting to spiral out of control from a cardiovascular standpoint. Now you had some venous wounds. With all that weight loss, have those gone away, and we're doing okay from that standpoint?
Yeah. So the last time I had ultrasound on my leg, the results were I had slow blood flow in my right leg. When I went to the vein specialist, I also seen a foot specialist. He did a Doppler on my foot. He's like, I'm not worried about you losing your feet or anything like that, but you do have some slow blood flow in your right leg.
How old are you, Jose?
I'm 47.
Okay, so I mean, you and are you taking anything for your diabetes?
No, I'm off metformin.
Yeah. Okay.
My A1C is 5.1, and
I mean, that to me is that's the move to the hoop. I mean, I'm mixing my sports metaphors here, but like the fact that you were able to push against the diabetes and not require insulin is a game changer, because once people get on it, they can't really get off it. But you, through weight loss, got yourself off the metformin, which is an oral medication. That's gonna save your limbs, your heart, your brain, everything. I mean, that's
one thing that really woke me up is waking up 7 a.m. and I felt like a lot of anxiety, and my blood sugar was 225, and I knew that I had issues with my feet. And I have a couple people I know that have diabetes, and they'll injure their feet for some reason, and there goes a big toe, there goes another toe, and there goes I said, you know what? And that's how the seed got planted. And then my wife's like, and then on top of all the other stuff, I'm not there for my kids. My wife's doing it by herself. I need to do something. Boom.
So we've got less than 2 minutes left, and I think something that a word that you had said before we went to break last time was option, and you made the phrase, "This was not an option," meaning eating certain things or living like this. So within the last 90 seconds or so, what do you want to say to those that are listening, those that have read your posts, commented on them? Because we started this conversation with you asking a question, and you figured it out. Now you're going to probably help other people figure it out. So what do you want to say to those folks who are in your shoes, or were in shoes that you're in but no longer in?
I have 90 seconds. So I was close to 700 pounds, making weekly trips to the ER with anxiety, with chest pain, and other symptoms. And once I started losing the weight, all that started slowly going away. I had swollen feet, edema. All I can say is that if you're alive and breathing and you wake up, there's still a chance for the situation to get better. Some are worse than others, but if you give up, to give up is the worst thing you can do. I had given up on myself, but something dragged me out, something pulled me out of the darkness. And I know as much as a physical battle, it's mental as well. Because I still think I'm 600 pounds sometimes. Sometimes I drop something, I'm like, oh, I can't bend over. But like, wait a minute, you can bend over and pick it up. I could tie my own shoes. I didn't wear shoes. I used to wear sandals when my feet were so big. But don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on yourself. People love you.
Yep, man. You just slid into home safe. Don't give up on yourself. Yeah. Fantastic. Thanks for sharing your story with us. We truly appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.